Hello, everyone. Welcome to All About Energy. Today, we are joined with an amazing person, Josiah Brandt, and he is the YouTube channel. He's got a YouTube channel called Daily Level, and also a school. If you could take me down the road about your school, because I find it so fascinating.
Yeah.
Metaphysical teachings, correct?
Yes. Yeah. I'm the founder of the Neville Goddard School of Imagination, or School of Imagination for short, where we go deep into metaphysical teachings. And I like to say metaphysics are the secrets of the universe, the wisdom of the ages, the questions that humans have always asked and always will ask, regardless of time and space, regardless of how society evolves. These are the true secrets, the secrets of being. And it's the stuff that I love to get into each and every day. And I teach students at the School of Imagination these topics, explore them together, courses, retreats, workshops, things of that nature. And that is my service.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love it. And how long have you been teaching at the school, and when did you start the school?
Yes. So I founded the school in 2019. So I
Hmm.
guess we're going on a couple of years now that I've been teaching metaphysics, but I've been a teacher for my entire life. I was originally trained as an intelligence briefer in the United States Air Force. It's really where I cut my teeth on how to present information succinctly, important information, so that people can easily understand it. And that started my career. And then I continued teaching in one capacity or another for the next 16 or 17 years up until I eventually found my true passion, metaphysics, and started teaching at my own school.
Oh, very good. Yeah, I've been following your channel since we met in Egypt, and I absolutely
Cool.
love your teachings.
Cool. Thank you.
They definitely dive deep into his teachings more, and I feel I do need that kind of like a
Mm,
little bit more modern breakdown of his teachings. So thank you for that.
yes, you're welcome. Yeah, that really is the premise. It's the secrets don't change, but the language has to be updated for each generation. And so I see that as the work that we're doing.
Perfect. Perfect. Now, I met you, for those that are watching today, I met you in Egypt. We were actually at the wonderful 2022 group for, I don't know, how would you even describe it? Because I still have a hard time describing on where we were, what we were doing,
Yeah.
and what happened.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I'm also with you in the how do you really put words? How do you diminish to words? Because it feels like that's what words do, is they kind of diminish what is otherwise just an experience. I've been telling people it was a kind of like an I am family gathering.
I like that. I think I'm going to stick with that.
Right? Giant family, global family reunion, the I am family. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good one. Yeah, there was so much going on. I think right now we're what, a week in or 10 days back now. And, this is the part where I wanted to reach out to some friends and, start the discussions on what happened, because there's so many people that are messaging me going, so tell me, what were the downloads like? What about the information? And I think before you and I started the interview just now, there's a great point on there was information that we received that we're actually integrating in our daily lives. I'm like, I didn't live that way, quite that way, and this information helped me
Mm,
to a better place, maybe to perform something better or to feel a little bit more complete about something that I was doing.
yeah.
So could you expand a little bit about that?
Yeah. Yeah. I love what you said there. I feel like on the backside of my experience in Egypt, I feel more connected to my humanness,
Mm.
feel more connected to being human, connected to my humanity. And I think that some of that has to do with what we did, the ceremony, the going into the pyramid, the having the experience of resonance and harmony in that way. And I think some of that is just a byproduct or part of the experience of coming together with so many different people, just the diversity of the group that we were with the 2,000 or so people that had come from all over, and I just just like looking across the crowd and just realizing it really does take all types of people to really fill in the human family. Like it really does take all types of people, and I feel like I saw that in a way that expanded my understanding of what it is to be human, and what it is to be me as a part of the bigger family, and the relationships there, and the mirroring there, and the shared values, but also the differences. It's like the diversity and the sameness, the diversity of languages, right? Like I live a pretty English centric life, and I definitely became aware of that in Egypt, and to kind of open my horizons in that way, and to welcome the diversity of languages, the diversity of cultures, but to understand also the ways that all of these threads are connected, and that
Oh, that's so beautiful.
source of it all. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful because yeah, there for me all of that applied. Okay. There's things that I'm integrating now into my daily living. But the biggest thing that I found that I'm kind of struggling with right now a little bit is I was there 25 days in a society that spoke without words. I found a lot of soul to soul connection in the people of Egypt and our group of
Yeah.
a communication with eyes or
Yeah.
just being. And then I come back home. This is my second time in the last 2 years, but for some reason, this hit me hard. This human connection that you're talking about, that is just, again, we can't diminish into words. I mean, there's no words, but really that connection that I never really understood, that this is the way I really enjoy to speak. I don't like words. And there's so much that can be said just through being. And that is something that I'm coping with right now, I should say, because it's hit me, like I said, really hard.
it I absolutely resonate with that, and reflective of that experience. Usually, a lot of times when I travel, and I experience amazing things, and I go to amazing places, and I meet amazing people, I come back and it's like I'm bubbling over with this joy and this desire to share, and like tell everybody all the stories. And this time was not like that. I came back and I just, it's like I literally didn't have the words, and I ended up finding myself just sitting in silence. I not even journaling, which is my normal go-to. Usually I share in the journaling. There was not even that. It was literally just this sitting in the silence. And in some way, I felt the silence was a recognition of the perfection of the experience. Like there was really nothing that I could add to it by trying to describe it in words, or even take away from it really in describing it in words. It was like it just stood on its own, and I was okay with that in a way that is kind of out of character for what I'd been in the past. I was just okay with just being in in the silence with the experience.
Wow, that's beautiful. I'm actually, thank you for verbalizing that because I haven't been able to um, send any information out, journal. I haven't been able to transcribe that experience. I've pretty much been in the silence of it. Um, Imperfection, but almost a loneliness of
Mm,
like, what has my soul just experienced? And although we were all together and we had a beautiful family and we all had our ups and downs, our growth spurts, and you name it, it still was, I don't know, very individual. And that I appreciate, that you can be in a group with people, 2,000 people at that, yet have such a profound individual experience. No need of um, everyone else validating what you went through because you know damn well you went through it. And for me, I have to say, at this part, I'm sure it's going to be in waves, right? But at this part right now, it's just kind of understanding my creative process on no, I can bring that experience to my daily life here. And so I've pretty much have been looking to see because there's a couple holes that were exposed inside of me
Mm.
that I didn't know were there. And so now I'm like, oh, okay, I need to work on this because when I was in Egypt, I saw it and I thought, well, that's interesting. And so now I'm in the process of manifestation and bringing that into my life now. But I don't know. I think it's a process. It's like any time you do any experience like this, it is a process. But the other experiences I have had, just like you said, there's the journaling, there's the speaking, there's the descriptive words. There just aren't words right now.
Yeah. Yeah. You talk about the holes and the the beauty of the space. You know, like you said, how each person is having their own experience and the group is having an experience, and it's a family and all the things that family, that word entails, and and the ups and the downs, but really all of it being this mirror to ourselves and to a very unique and intimate part of ourselves that maybe we don't see every day, certainly not quite in that way, because it is such a unique and kind of removed from the realm of ordinary experience environment. And I know for me, one of, it's like, it's some, these experiences can be so ethereal, and it's also important in its own due time, and with appropriate processing, it is important to determine what how am I going to be different, right? Like how am I going to integrate this? How am I going to embody this going forward? And you mentioned the, seeing parts of yourself, and then now being into this manifestation process. And I want to share one of those things, and there's many for me right now, but one of those things that I feel is I'm carrying with me into my daily life moving forward is this understanding of my innate, this newfound understanding of my innate enoughness, that I am exactly what I need to be at any given time. And I don't have to add to that. And I certainly don't have to shrink away from that. I can allow myself to rest in being where I am, and being what I am, and being who I am, and trusting that it is enough, exactly as it is. And I know that that's a state. And I know that sometimes, the winds blow and we start to reach for things. We start to think, I want to grow in this way and I want to grow in that way. And that's okay too. That's part of the journey. But knowing that we can always come back home, and that home never leaves us, it's always with us. And it's that profound enoughness, exactly as we are, in our strengths and our weaknesses and all of our facets and elements and characteristics. We're the product of perfection. And I feel I gave birth to a new understanding of that in Egypt. And I feel it changed me deeply and profoundly to find that home within myself, and to resolve to embody that going forward, and also to embody the gift of helping others find their own home and enoughness as well.
So beautiful. Wow, Josiah. You you practically brought me to tears. That's so amazing. Wow. Thank you for sharing that. And so, with that information on the daily, talk to me a little bit about how You are
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
embodiment
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, it can be so subtle. Um, you know, I've heard people obviously say, I think we all have, you know, oh, you know, you're enough. And it's like, yeah, of course I'm enough. But it's so subtle, these little ways in which we start to believe that maybe we're not, or that maybe there's something that we should be doing that we're not, or something we could be doing better than what we are. And while, I mean, I want to be clear, like that may be true, but the part where it ceases being true is where it bumps us out of connection with our perfection, right? So it's like I'm perfect, and I'm also allowed to grow, right? It's like I'm perfect as I am, and I am allowed to grow. And I know in my communities, in the ways in which I am embodying leadership and being a torchbearer in my own way for helping the world to awaken a deeper understanding, a deeper knowing, a deeper connection to their humanity and also their divinity. It's really the marriage of the two. I became aware after Egypt, after having this experience, of the subtle little ways that even in my communities, these little ideas of not enoughness come in. It's like the manifesting, you know, the all the techniques about how to manifest this, about how to manifest that. And then these questions come up like, oh, am I doing this right? Did I do it enough times? Did I try hard enough? Did I really mean it when I planted this picture in my imagination about what I desire to experience? It's like all of these tools, which really are designed appropriately to empower us, can also be seeds of disempowerment if we allow them to be. And so for me, it's like this new level of awareness, a new level of listening. And when I hear that voice of, oh, I should be something further, or maybe I didn't, right? Or maybe somehow, or I see that in others, or I hear that from others, there's this, and the interesting thing is it's not like I jump to judgment. That's the other thing that's interesting about this, because it truly was a seed planted in my heart. I feel an empathy and a compassion for it when I hear it. It's a tenderness. I don't assault it. I don't jump at it to judge it. I see it and I recognize it and I understand where it comes from on a new level, far deeper than I did before the experiences of Egypt. I understand where it comes from. I understand it's the question that humanity has always asked, the one question, which is, you know, feeling this separation from our divinity. And the question that comes out of that illusion of separation from our divinity is, am I enough? In my human form, am I enough? Reconcile. How do I reconcile my divinity with my humanity? And the key question that arbitrates those two is the am I enough? And now I see that in a way that I never saw it before. And I have a heart for it in a way that I never had before. And I have an empathy and a compassion and an understanding of where that question comes from, and also how to hold space for that question, how to love that question, and embrace the asking of the question, but in a way that encourages and nourishes the most beautiful answer.
Beautiful. Very beautiful. That is definitely profound. If there's anything that I could wish anyone who was on that trip or experiences anything like that, that would be the one thing. I mean, to say that you're enough.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, most definitely.
One more thought on that. In the pyramid, I know we could talk for a whole episode just about what happened in the pyramid, but I'm going to share just a little segment. In the pyramid, um, amongst the multitude of visions and downloads that I received, one of them I became profoundly aware of my ancestors, and not just my ancestors, but humanity's ancestors, and the word that comes to me is sacrifice. So I want to be careful how I use that word, because they did it lovingly and willingly. It was a gift. Their sacrifice was a gift. But all that our ancestors went through and experienced, and how the experience that I have today in so many ways is a culmination of all those who walked before me. And I feel like when I get to where I am and I ask, am I enough? And I really don't know, right? I feel like in some way I'm literally calling into question everything that all of those before me did and experienced and learned, and their investments, right? And when I answer that question in the affirmative and I know that I am enough, I can feel them rejoicing because they know that I'm enough. And the only question is, do I know that I'm enough? And they know they helped. They helped get me to the point where I can even have these experiences and ask these questions. And so in that part of the heart opening, the empathy experience was really communing. I felt like I really communed with the whole timeline in that way. And that's what really, melted and opened my heart to really hold and understand exactly where the question comes from and why it is so important that we ask it and hold it in our hearts in a beautiful way.
Wow, Josiah, I'm gonna share an experience with you that I'm so happy to hear this because, as you know, we did our trip a little bit before you guys, before I met with you guys, and the experience that you said about the ancestral experience on how it all led up to this point is exactly the experience I had prior to meeting the group in one of the one of the meetings we did in one of the spaces. And wow, this is what it's about. This is why I want to do these interviews, because it's that validation, because that's exactly what I experienced prior to meeting with you guys, the 2000. We were on the Nile River and we were going from space to space. And so, yes, it was an ancestral, a human ancestral or non-human, whatever experience, a
Yeah.
celebration of just exactly what it was, the I am, and that very important question of, am I enough? So, yeah. So now I'm thinking, just from my experience now, because I don't know about you, but I've experienced plant medicine and different types of journeys. And the integration is the very important part, I think, of an experience is, yes, be present in the experience, but also give yourself time, be tender, and integrate the information so that you have it in your cells, right?
Yeah.
You have it with you. So for you, what are you thinking from this point on with this beautiful information that I think there's information that comes in, at least for me, it's been daily. Right now, I'm working on a very interesting chapter, but just working on these lessons that we were so fortunate to be part of. But we're so, yeah, this was so meant to be. Is
Yeah.
all I can say.
Yeah.
So now, what do you think? Because I almost can see this integration go on for like over a years.
Yeah.
I don't see it
Or,
being
or a
like
lifetime, even.
a
I, I
lifetime.
don't I don't think we would be overstating to say that this is the sort of thing that would integrate over a lifetime. I know just the level of displacement that I felt. I felt out of time, out of place. Almost like you see, you talked about psychedelics. I'm also experiencing that regard. And almost like that, but more intense in a way where it's like, wow, I literally feel like maybe I visited another dimension and then like spent several days there and then like time traveled back to the here and now with this huge wealth of information. And it's not just information, because as it integrates, it becomes wisdom, right?
Right.
It becomes wisdom. So it's like, wow, I got this massive gift of wisdom. And I think the question I'm sensing from you is, okay, what do we do with it? what do we what is next? So yeah, so the integration is a process. So it continues, yes. And I think that at first, while I was really just sitting in silence, and even if I wanted to, I had no words. Slowly but surely, that has begun to shift, and now I'm able to have conversations like this one with you. I have journaled a little bit, and I think that will continue. I think there will be more downloading and processing that will come through. But ultimately, what I really felt I got in Egypt, in addition to these very profound and beautiful heart-opening experiences and newfound wisdoms and understandings, I really felt like I got was a confirmation of the path that I'm on, and encouragement to continue and to keep going, and to continue to value and venerate the importance of bringing the human family together, and for reasons that are that transcend um, genre in a way. And I know that you could say everything we did in Egypt was a genre, and I get that, but like I noticed, I having kind of a traditionally religious upbringing, while there were elements of a religious gathering there, the message was more universal and uniting and kind of bringing together. I find some of the traditional religions can be kind of divisive in a way, and I didn't sense any of that in these spaces. And so the purity of this idea of bringing everyone together under the umbrella of the I am, which is the most singular, most distinct thing that we all have in common. I think there's something very beautiful to that, and I think that continuing to value those experiences, continuing to do my part to bring people together into spaces to have experiences like that, I think that is the work, and that is the mission. And I feel encouraged in that. It was encouraging me to hear the messages come through in the pyramids, and now several 10 plus days in the backside, I've seen most of them. From what people remember, they've typed up the remembrances, and I've seen most of them. And it's encouraging to me to see that it's the same stuff that I know, love, and teach, and it's in another form perhaps, but there's one truth, and we have it, and we're teaching it, and we're growing in it, and we're embodying it, and that is the work, and that is the mission, and it's a joyful one.
Right. And I think that's the key, is the joyful one.
It
And to
has
know
to
that
be,
no matter what you do, it's enough.
and it's enough.
It's
Yes.
always perfect, isn't it?
Yeah. 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 And that's what it becomes, the adventure of a lifetime.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Josiah, it's been amazing having you on today. And honestly, it was an honor to share this experience with you in Egypt. Every soul there was such an important part of this weaving of this experience that we all had on such a uh, together yet individual experience. I
Yeah.
don't even know how to put it in words,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
um, yeah. So thank you for being part of that.
Yes.
And also, thank you for coming on and sharing your experience today. I'm sure we'll have some more discussions in the future about where we're at. And I feel the information just kind of gets unfolded. And then I see myself going through my day, even in my work, and integrating that part, learning and understanding it in a very gentle manner. So, it was an amazing experience.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. I've really appreciated the opportunity to share in this way, and to reflect on the experience in words after sitting in silence for so long. So thank you for the invitation. Thank you for creating and holding the space for it. And I would love to do a follow up with you in a few months
Oh, for
and see
sure.
where we are in the integration. That
See where
seems
we're
like
at.
That's a date I would love to have with you. So yes, let's do.
Perfect. Let's do
Yeah.
it. All right. Sounds good. Well, thank you so much. I'll have your information for those of you that are interested. He has a wonderful YouTube channel and a wonderful school. So I will have his information under the video. I definitely encourage you to follow his channel. It's amazing. I've really been listening to your videos. I love them and enjoy them. So thank you for everything that you do.
Thank you, Sama.
All right. Thank you.